All right, so now let's move on to geometric interpretation. An all-path system. So we were showing, just making this a derivation, we just showed that, yeah, indeed, for this all-path system, the magnitude response is going to be unity, constant 1 for all frequencies. But do we have a geometric interpretation? We have a geometric interpretation. And here is a geometric interpretation. It turns out that all you need is a bit of a junior high school math. And you can show that the gain, the magnitude response of the all-path system, this all-path, of course, you need to know complex number. Junior high school, you can plug it. But anyway, the geometric, what I'm going to show you next is an alternative explanation. Meanwhile, it's an alternative explanation to the reason why the magnitude response of this system is going to be constant. Okay? So here, let's still copy everything. Suppose that we have an all-path system with, but now 1 minus a the inverse, and z the inverse minus a conjugate, right? That's the system function. But let's move things a little bit for the sake of discussion. Let's, this is a bit tricky. So I don't like z inverse, okay? So for this geometric interpretation, I'm going to multiply top and bottom by z, okay? So that gives me 1 minus a conjugate z, and z minus a. I like this representation better. Okay? And further, what else can I do? Let me just pull out minus a star. Okay? Because I want the top part to be z minus something. Okay? Z minus something instead of 1 minus a star z. Okay? So let's just pull out minus a star. Move it outside the parenthesis, and at the bottom we copy everything be minus a. And on top, now we have z minus a conjugate inverse, right? So let's just are we happy with this? Okay, so now let's talk about the gain, the magnitude response. Now let's evaluate the magnitude response on the unit circle, and that's, let's evaluate the system function on the unit circle. That gives us the magnitude response. And we know that here the magnitude is going to be minus a conjugate z minus a conjugate inverse z minus a. That's the magnitude response. But evaluated, let me say, evaluated on the unit circle. Okay? Evaluated on the unit circle. Just move on one more step. Here, this is a star. And copy everything inside. Then we have e to the j omega minus a, e to the j omega minus a conjugate inverse. Okay? Let's leave it like this one for now. Now remember that our goal is to show that the magnitude response is a constant. Okay, that's our goal. Right? And certainly this part is a constant, for sure. This really is a constant, for sure. So how about that other part? Is it a constant? That's the question. Do we have a geometric interpretation for this factor? So now let's consider. So let's consider this e to the j omega minus a conjugate inverse divided by e to the j omega minus a. Let's consider this thing. So certainly it's a division of 1 complex number by another complex number. Okay, so let's take a look at their geometric interpretation. What is e to the j omega? E to the j omega is a point on the unit circle. So let's say our omega is like this. So this e to the j omega is a vector on the unit circle. All right? So let this point. So let's denote that point as W. Point W on the unit circle. And again, we have a pole. We have a pole inside the unit circle and a 0 outside the unit circle. And for the sake of discussion, let's denote the pole as point A and the 0 at point B. And all of them are on the complex plane. Okay, so far so good? So now, I want you to consider what is the geometric interpretation of e to the j omega minus A. A being the pole, right? So this is a vector. So let me use another color. Okay? So e to the j omega minus A. Its geometric interpretation is a vector pointing from A to W. This thing really is vector AW. Is everybody okay with this notation? A vector pointing from A to W. Okay? Because it's e to the j omega, this is W, this is A. W minus A is the vector AW. Right? Everybody okay with this notation? And how about on top? On top there, we have similarly A conjugate inverse actually is the location B. Okay, so on top we have what we have is the vector PW. Okay? Or and then we are considering the magnitude response. The magnitude response, right? So the magnitude response is even more simple. The magnitude response, taking the absolute value of this complex number, we are actually calculating the ratio of two lengths. We are actually calculating the length BW divided by length AW. Right? So it's even simpler. So now our question becomes as follows, okay? When omega varies, when omega changes around the unit circle, is BW divided by AW a constant? That's the question. Do we have a geometric interpretation here? When W goes around the unit circle, is the ratio PW divided by AW a constant? That's the question. If so, why? What's the reason? Any suggestion? How do we tell if BW divided by AW is a constant? And W goes around the unit circle. And my hint is, now at this point we are down to junior high school geometry. Junior high school geometry. So I want to point to you that since OA, so now we have, note that here is a hint. Note that here on this plot, we have two similar triangles. They are the 相似三角形, two similar triangles. Who are they? Which are they? In which two triangles are similar? 有两个相似三角形。Note that, let me try, okay? The triangle AOW is similar to the triangle WOB, and why? Why is it so? Why is it so? Because what? Why is it so? Why are they similar? Because the ratio of the side, okay, let me try. Because AO divided by OW is R divided by 1 is equal to 1 divided by 1 over R, which is OW divided by OB. And these two triangles share the same angle. Okay? So this thing here is similar to the bigger triangle. Does everybody see that? Does everybody see that? I think this is a beautiful way of looking at what an all-path system. The idea behind its design. Why do we put a point and a 0 at inverted locations? Because now we're creating similar triangles, however, wherever W is. Around the unit circle, we always have this relation. Any W, any W, any W on the unit circle. So to complete the job, and further, moreover, now we have, if you're convinced that we have two similar triangles, then we know that for the two similar triangles, the ratio, now CW divided by AW is exactly 1 over R. And which is a constant, which does not depend on omega. And in this case, greater than 1. Okay? Any questions here? Alright, so again, this probably is not on the textbook. It might not be on any textbook, and I want to share with you. Okay. Alright, so that's a geometric interpretation too. So we can explain why the magnitude response of this all-path system is going to be a constant. And that constant is exactly, so to summarize, now we know that the overall phase response, the overall magnitude response is going to be this part, do not forget this part, minus A conjugate times 1 over R. And it turns out that this thing here is R, so R by 1 over R gives us 1. So again, we've shown that alternatively by this different way, with a bit of noticing that there are similar triangles, we can reach the same conclusion that the magnitude response is going to be constant regardless of the frequency. Wherever W goes around the unit circle, that ratio is always going to be 1 over R. Therefore, the magnitude response of this system is going to be constant 1, unity gain. Right? Any question? Okay, so the harder question is now, how about the phase? How about the phase response? How about the phase? Do we have a geometric interpretation? Do we have a geometric interpretation? How about the phase response? Let me draw a bigger circle. Okay? And assume that we have 1 pole and 1 0. Pole inside doesn't have to be close to the circle, like 0 outside. Okay? Same angle. How about the phase response? We have a geometric interpretation. Okay? All right, so now I've shown to you that we are actually looking at these factors as vectors. Okay, so the face here still I'm going to use this notation. Okay, this notation. I convinced you. I hope that I have convinced you that this thing here is the vector on top. We have the vector, is it PW? Vector PW. And at the bottom we have vector AW. Okay? And now we are considering the space. And we know that, again, complex number multiplication and division phase is adding or subtracting. Okay? So now let me just tidy up everything. The phase will have this part, the phase of this constant term, plus the phase of this vector PW, plus minus the phase of vector AW. Okay? This thing here is a constant. Okay, so we have a constant. Now let's look at this phase PW minus phase PW. It's actually an angle. So it is the phase of PW. This is W. And the phase of AW. Let me just code everything in color, okay? Yellow and green. Phase AW, that's the phase of this angle, right? And actually, I can change it to WP and WA. Probably it's easier to look at this one. So let's change it to WB and WA. Is that right? Wait, can I do this? Oh yes, because the phase of WB is simply the phase of PW plus pi, just pi over. So yeah, so we can do this. Easier to take a look this way. So if you take a look this way, then the arrows are pointing nicely out from W to B and to A. So this is easier for discussion. Okay, it's easier this way. Okay, let's picture this one, this way of drawing. So the phase of, let's take a look, okay? The phase, the angle, the phase of WB minus the phase of WA is exactly this angle. And this angle, let's call it phi, okay? Let's call it phi of omega. Phi is a function of, so let's call it this angle phi, which will be a function of omega. Okay? So now the question becomes, so now we are looking at, this is a geometric interpretation for the phase response of this all-pass system. The phase response will show that has a constant term here, plus phi of omega on the figure. And you can imagine now, when we move W around to a new location W, now this angle becomes this angle, phi of omega. Okay? And let's move it further elsewhere. Let's move it further around to this new location, and the angle is this angle, phi of omega. So now the question is, do we have property number 2? Can we see, can we convince ourselves that as W is moving around the unit circle, the phi of omega decrease monotonically? Because if it does, then we have the phase, the group delay will never be negative. Okay? So that's the geometric interpretation we may come up with for this all-pass system. The phase response actually is a constant plus phi of omega. Therefore, the group delay is minus of the phase spectrum. Take the first derivative with respect to frequency. That's the group delay, right? So that exactly is minus phi prime omega. The first derivative of this, because this is a constant, okay? After differentiation, this term disappears, right? So if we take the first derivative of phase with respect to the frequency, what we get is the group delay. And group delay is exactly the first derivative of phi, 2 omega, and with a minus sign. So if you ever want to check property number 2, okay? So the question here now, the question is, we want to check on property number 2. Is the group delay always positive? Is it never negative? So we want to check by geometric interpretation. We want to check if the slope, if we do have, whether or not the phase phi decreases as a function of omega. Because if it does, then the group delay is positive. So the conclusion is we want to move W around. Okay, I hope you can create kind of a mental picture. When we move W around, does phi keep decreasing? That's the question to ask. When we move W around, does phi keep decreasing? Can you see that kind of? Does phi keep decreasing? Okay, I'll read it to you. Okay, does it keep decreasing? Looks like it does. Okay? And after this opposite point here, let me be clear. So, okay, this is where the pole is, and that is where the 0 is. So note that when W moves around this circle and past this point, which is the angle theta plus pi. When it moves past that point, this is a special point. This is when the angle is going to be phi equals 0. And when we further increase omega, then phi goes negative. Okay, so still it keeps decreasing. Keep going negative and the angle becomes larger, more negative. Okay, so the answer probably is yes. Yes, I hope I've convinced you by this geometric information. Yes, this first derivative is the phase keeps decreasing, keeps going negative at every omega. Therefore, this tau group delay is always positive. I think I'm safe to just get rid of the equal sign. Okay, actually smaller than 0, greater than 0. It's probably safe for me to remove that equal sign. It's not that important.